Welcome back to Through the Ages. We'll explore one of the most dramatic and powerful stories in the Bible, the crossing of the Red Sea. This narrative is filled with tension, awe, and wonder. However, before we delve into the event itself, let's go over some background information. God chose Moses to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. Moses, a Hebrew who was raised in Pharaoh's palace, had fled to the wilderness years earlier. However, God called him back for a special mission: to free his people from slavery. After a series of intense confrontations with Pharaoh, marked by 10 devastating plagues, Pharaoh finally relented and allowed the Israelites to leave. In the middle of the night, Moses gathered the Israelites, men, women, children, and the elderly, along with their flocks and herds, and they set out on their journey. God had promised them a land of their own, the land of Canaan, a place flowing with milk and honey. As they traveled, God guided them with miraculous signs, a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. However, shortly after letting them go, Pharaoh had a change of heart. He realized that by releasing the Israelites, he had lost a significant portion of his workforce. Who would build his cities and tend to his fields now? In anger, Pharaoh assembled his army, his finest soldiers, hundreds of chariots, horses, and armed men, and set off to recapture the Israelites. Meanwhile, the Israelites, unaware that Pharaoh's army was in pursuit, arrived at the edge of the Red Sea. The vast expanse of water loomed before them, presenting an insurmountable barrier with no apparent way to cross. Exhausted from their journey, they set up camp by the shore. However, they soon noticed dust rising in the distance, the unmistakable sign of Pharaoh's advancing army. When the Israelites saw the Egyptian chariots charging toward them, fear gripped them. In their panic, they cried out to Moses, "Why did you bring us out here to die in the wilderness?" However, Moses, filled with faith in God, reassured them, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today." At that moment, God spoke to Moses saying, "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the Israelites to move forward. Raise your staff, stretch out your hand over the sea, and divide the waters so that the Israelites can walk through the sea on dry ground." Moses obeyed, raising his staff high above the waters. Then something incredible happened. A mighty wind, sent by God, blew across the sea, and the waters began to part. Like two towering walls, the waters were pushed aside, revealing a dry path through the center of the sea. One by one, the Israelites began to walk through the parted sea, astonished by the sight. They crossed over as if walking on solid ground, with towering walls of water beside them. Once the last Israelite had safely crossed to the other side, Pharaoh's army approached. At that moment, God gave Moses another command: "Stretch out your hand over the sea so that the waters may return and cover the Egyptians, their chariots, and their chariot drivers." Moses obeyed, and the sea rushed back into place, engulfing Pharaoh's entire army. Chariots, horses, and soldiers were swept away by the crashing waves, and not a single Egyptian survived. With their enemies defeated and their freedom secured, Moses and the Israelites erupted in song, praising God for his miraculous deliverance. Now let's turn our attention to how this iconic moment has been captured in art. Nicolas Poussin, a renowned painter, immortalized the crossing of the Red Sea in a stunning oil painting created between 1633 and 1634. The painting is housed in the National Gallery of Victoria in Melbourne. Poussin was inspired to create this masterpiece, in part due to a setback in his career. He had been rejected for a significant church commission. He channeled his frustration into this work, which ultimately became a testament to his artistic skill and vision. In Poussin's painting, the Israelites are depicted retrieving armor from the bodies of dead Egyptians washed ashore. Unable to incorporate architectural elements into the scene, Poussin organized the foreground with sculptural groups of figures. These groups, through their diminishing scale and color, guide the viewer's eye into the middle distance, where the Israelites dance, pray, and play musical instruments, giving thanks to God for the miracle they have witnessed. Poussin continues this spatial depth through hills and along the coastline, ultimately leading to the dark mass of clouds that has guided the Israelites since their departure from Egypt. The painting not only captures the moment of triumph, but also conveys the uncertainty of the Israelites' journey. Will they reach the promised land without further obstacles, or will additional challenges await them? Stay tuned for the next episode, where we will explore the ongoing journey of the Israelites and the valuable lessons we can learn from their experiences.